Tunisia. Catherine, there have been other terror attacks in Tunisia in recent years. Our correspondent was just mentioning. How common are they?
Well, there have been terror attacks. Notably, around 2015, there was a large spate of terror attacks. Obviously, Tunisia had a revolution in 2011, the beginning of the so-called Arab Spring. And after that, in the years following that, there was a degradation in the security situation. So in March 2015, there was an attack on the Bardo National Museum when 22 people were killed, mainly European tourists. Then in June 2015, there was that attack on a beach near Sousse, where a gunman came into a resort, if you remember, and 38 people then were killed, mainly British tourists. Since then, we haven't seen major attacks targeting tourists, but there have been attacks targeting members of the military, members of the Tunisian police. Pretty much it looks like what we've been seeing now. So our correspondent there, Fadil Ariza, mentioning some of them. Back in November 2015, there was a suicide bomber in Tunis, once again, who blew himself up outside a bus containing members of the Tunisian Presidential Guard, killing 12 of those soldiers. So we have seen this pattern. However, it has to be said there have been these deadly attacks. There haven't been as many attacks, of course, as in neighbouring Libya or in other countries across the Middle East. So there are terror attacks. Western governments put out warnings to citizens travelling there, but it's not quite the out-of-control situation that we've seen in countries in the region.
And for the moment, there's no claim of responsibility, but Tunisia has become known for the number of jihadists leaving to fight with the Islamic State group.
Right, so it's seen terrorist attacks on its own soil, but it's also seen a remarkably large number of Tunisian nationals heading off to fight jihad, to join forces with the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda affiliates in Syria. So the exact numbers of Tunisians leaving to fight jihad are not known, somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000. But in terms of the number per capita, it's a surprisingly large amount. Tunisia, a relatively small country. And we know that around 800 or so of those jihadis have returned to Tunisian soil. And there's no reintegration or rehabilitation program either. These people are in prisons or they're out on the streets. So perhaps they could be looking at a potential terror problem here to go forward. The questions about why are very interesting. Obviously, there is poverty and unemployment, particularly youth unemployment in Tunisia, 36% unemployment among under 24. So obviously, it's not a direct correlation between that, but people are looking at that as one of the factors. A lot of political disillusionment following the revolution, which started at the end of 2010, went into 2011, and a lot of young people took to the streets during that revolution. It's failed to produce big changes, although the leader was overthrown. There's been a lot of frustration at the political situation since then. But Tunisia is a really interesting situation because it's been working hard with international partners, the EU, the US, Algeria as well, one of its other neighbours, to try and shore up and protect its borders. For example, a lot of US drones have been patrolling the Tunisian border with Libya, trying to protect any contagion from there. So it's a very volatile situation.
Catherine, thank you so much for that. France 24's Catherine Norris-Trent reporting there.